Good evening, everybody. Yeah, so tonight, hang on one second, still getting set up. All right, yeah, so tonight, I'm probably, well, I'm gonna modify this right ramp for sure because that needs to be adjusted, and then I'm probably gonna start with plastics. And plastics, start with the left plastic because remember the plastic is gonna be like the continuation of the ramp, kind of, sort of, which means this ramp also gets adjusted and then chopped off at a certain point. I don't think I'm gonna get to this right side tonight. I'm only gonna do this for a couple hours. Uh, yeah, that will largely finalize this left section, I think. I mean, eventually I should add the details like these other posts, but I'll do that. I don't know once I'm done with the major changes. Yeah. Okay. Hi Sam. Hi Peter. Welcome. Welcome. I need to get to my repo directory before I do anything. Otherwise, I will be lost. Okay. Um, let's see if I can put some audio on. I have no idea if this will get uh, ECM8 or whatever the hell it is. But I'm listening to like this just fantasy music-y type stuff. So maybe that'll be okay. I don't know if it's even picking up. Maybe that's picking up a little bit. I don't know. I guess I'll find out when I listen to the stream later on to see if this works. But yeah, so now it'll be less quiet. Anyways, so this left, or I'm sorry, this right ramp, I need to close this section off because I don't want that anymore. And I'm going to be rebuilding that section later on in metal. It's edit. I need. It's very quiet. Well, I don't want it to be too loud. How about right here? I mean, my voice is the more important thing. So I don't want it. Whoa, that spiked a bit. Let me lower my mic volume a little bit, maybe to there. That's testing, testing, testing. All right, that way it won't spike up too much, but I'll kind of be in there. Wait, where the hell did the ramp go? Oh, okay, good. Show components. I want to edit the component. I need to remember how to use this program. It's been a day and a half. All right, here we go. So all of this needs to go away. All this junk needs to go away. Yes, go away. Yes, go away. Yes, go away. Oh, well, not that one. This one can go away, and then this attaches up there. All right, and now everything's gonna be broken. Yep. Yeah, because I added these extra little bits. Okay, and then this. Yep, this is broken. I don't need that anymore. Wait, I can't do that. Um, I need to actually kill the extrusion because that's the only thing in the extrusion. Okay, and this fillet probably doesn't exist anymore at all. Yep, so I can kill this fillet. And this fillet is missing 2 edges. So I only need that 1 edge. Here. And then this fillet, same problem. Because they had the... where's... Oh, yeah, right. Oh, not there. It's here. Because I had to do the fillets in like 3 parts. Alright, and then the shell is gonna be missing a face, so that's fine. Alright, so this is now all set. So that's that new ramp piece. Now, technically, I can probably extend... Well, so here's the thing. This ramp piece is probably going to become part of this ramp and drop down, like, right over here. Because then I'm going to have plastic there. So I'll leave this ramp piece as this right now. And it's mounted on there, and it's mounted over there. So it will kind of sort of work. Alright, so that's that ramp. Now on this side, I do want to start making plastics. I'm going to hide this ramp. Or, no, I'll make it translucent. And this plastic needs to cover all of this area. Like, all down here. So I do need to add posts for this, don't I? Otherwise, the plastic won't have any place to mount on. Alright, let's see. And I'm going to pull this music down a little bit softer. When I upload this to YouTube, it's going to probably complain to me. Yeah, pinball parts. And this is 1, 2, 3, yeah, 3, 4 studs. Post screw, post stud. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is a screw, and this is an adjustment screw thing, so they don't get mount points on it. And this is eventually going to be remated because I'm going to have a piece of plastic right here. Yeah, I'll mate with these first. And then I'll know. Oh, 1, 2, 3. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3. Yeah, all right. 4 will be fine for now. Technically, I need some more here because the plastic comes around here too. Maybe. I don't know yet, but probably. But I can always add those in later. Here on. Oh, I didn't want it to go. Oh, shit. I didn't want that. I want this post to be concentric with this thing. This. Ah, damn it. Ugh. concentric. Let's get rid of the plastic post this time. So I can move the screw over there. Then let's take this. Come on, edit. And put it on here. Come on, here. There we go. That's what I want. Now let's continue and not screw up again. That goes. Over on this. And on there. And finally this. Then I can start. Oh, not the edge. Alright, now I'll make my plastic. Plastic is going to go across a lot of this. And the ramp drops right there, so the ramp should probably... The ramp should probably drop on a piece of metal. A metal reflector. Which means this ramp should go all the way to here. And then stop, and then a metal reflector goes on the thing. Maybe up from the plastic itself. Maybe it's bound on the plastic. Yeah, that could work. Okay, reorganize some of this because this is getting a little clustered. Posts go in posts metal. And this coil bracket goes in devices. Alright. New part. This is going to be called plastic. Pick. Left. Orbit. Lower. Sure. Left orbit lower. Plastics. Alright, and I'm going to mate the top plane on to one of these posts. For simplicity, probably this one, because then I can find it again later on. The origin is going to get moved, as always. Move it over to the drop point, I guess, sure. Okay. So I want this to effectively be in the origin here. And this is going to be 1 1/8. Let's see, is that a decent position? Oh, really? Come on. Not a decent position. Compared to where these post ends are. I don't think so. This post end is here, this post end is there. So, no, I'm going to move this component a little bit now that I have a point. Load it. Origin move. They want it kind of like right here. Or actually, I kind of want it right here. You don't want it to drop on the switch itself, or so I've been told. So I'm not going to have it drop on the switch. I'll have it drop a little above it. And because this is plastic, I can actually make this somewhat nice now. Make this more of a teardrop shape, which is kind of what you expect. Now, these are tangent to this. To be tangent to that, good. This is going to be in line with the center. And 1.25 long. Finally, I'll throw a fillet in here. 1/16 inch fillet. Get rid of this. Now, why is that not fixed? This should be vertical. There we go. Alright, so now that's fixed in place. Now my plastic. So one thing I do with plastics, if I want it to be around like posts, I'll make circles around posts and then I'll kind of connect the tangents a little bit. So in a case like this one's a little weird because it has this kind of weird shape. And actually what I can do here is I can convert entities. I think that would make sense in this case. If there's another entity in here. Oh yeah, that'll make sense for that. However, this line obviously doesn't go all the way up there. This line goes in like here. And I want an arc. A tangent arc going onto this. But this tangent arc really should be in line with this. Okay, let's construction that. Let's... Oh, too small. Oh, these arcs should be equal. And then this line should be tangent to this. Okay, now this technically should be tangent to this. Yeah, more like that. Let's not have this on here. And let's not have this tangent to that arc. So that way I can, oops, that way, I can take this and pull it up. Because really, the drop only needs to be down there. And this section here can be realized. Okay, so there's that. This guy here can come out. This guy here can come out. He is gonna be smaller than the rest. What's that? 3/8 probably makes sense. And on this, straight down to this. Alright, so this is where this is going to differ a little bit. Because this can't be on that anymore. Because I definitely want this to be tangent to this line. And I want this line to be vertical. So if I kept it in line with this other thing, what are you thinking about? Here we go. Which also probably means it's in my best interest to make this segment not like that and to make this segment horizontal. So this and this are tangent. And then this and this is tangent. And then this and this is tangent. Yeah, so I think that this makes more sense here. Now, this is obviously a little in. Maybe this needs to be, instead of 3/8, this needs to be 7/16. That pulls it a little bit out, which is probably fine. In fact, I'm sure it's going to be fine because I do need that extra little bit of width for the guide that I'm going to be putting in. Alright, so here's where things are a little trickier. Well, actually, they don't need to be trickier because this whole section can be pulled down a little bit now. Kind of in line with this. Since I'm no longer going to mount a giant ramp on this side. Before I do anything else, how about I just adjust this? Which also means I need a new wood border, but oh well. C'est la vie. So instead of it being over that in 26, this can be probably 18. Let's get rid of this and let's make this in relation to this other thing. That way it just makes life a little bit easier. Now this whole piece, if it goes to 18, yeah, that'll be fine. And then that gives me a spot along here to bind to bind this thing. And on the other end, it's still perfectly fine over here. So I can probably even make this 16. Because then that's still bindable on this side, I think. I'm looking through to the other side right now. To this part. Yeah, oh yeah, that's still plenty bindable over here. And that comes and loops up. Oh yeah, that's fine. Okay. So it'll be 16. Now that gives me a spot to put the plastic along the wall here. And this little bit is going to kind of be well, this little bit is floating, but it's going to be floating across here. Which I can probably I can figure something out with that. Let's make it float less. This doesn't need to be 4. This is going to be 3. Okay, and then on this side, the same thing. This is going to be... it's going to have a relationship between with this length. That's going to be 3. And this is going to be 16. Okay. That pulls those things much further back. This ramp is technically going to be chopped off here, but it's now also going to be part of this ramp. So this ramp's going to come all the way down to here. And luckily, this ramp already comes down to here, because remember, when I made that ramp, I just chopped off a section so I can unchop off part of it, and it'll be fine. Which is pretty handy. Actually, if I go to this ramp, and this is the cut extrude here, this cut extrude is now going to change, be down here. Well, that's being a little bit of a pain in the butt, huh? Right, let's make this vertical. And let's fix that, because I don't want that to move around. Oh, you're perfect. Oh, no wonder you're right. Okay, so now I can pull this around. I want this to be perpendicular to this. Like that. Yeah. Here we go. And that's going to chop off about there. And like I said, I'm going to make a metal bracket that things kind of connect on. That way, this upper ramp isn't slamming onto this plastic that's not really supported very well right here. I think that would make the most sense. Yeah, because they can have a little metal bend like that. Yeah. Okay. Well, now that's chopped off there. You know. So that was easy. And I'm going to leave this ramp in here for now, just so I know where the plastic needs to go. Going to be like that. Now this piece down here can be trimmed. This and this should be... Well, this is another interesting one because it might go across in a different way. No, it is going to bend in that way a bit. Yeah, it is. So this and this can be equal. I should make a size for this now. So the radius is going to be 3/8. 3/8 too big? Maybe it's a little too big. 5/16. Yeah, 5/16. Can have it at 5/16. This one's gonna be a little different because of how it needs to kind of come near it, but not be a part of it per se. Nope. That needs to come near that, but not be a part of it. No, it can be a part of it. I have an idea. Oh, that won't work here. Oh, interesting. I can't use a stud right there. That needs to be a... Oh, right. No, I can. If this is an adjustment post... Okay, so if I don't put a stud there... No, I do need to have... It can't be a stud, because the ball's got to roll over it. This one can be a stud because it's far enough out of the way. But this one can't. Yeah. Okay. Comes up like that. I do want this to be a little closer. That is tangent to this. Now I need to make another. Well, I don't. Okay, so what I can do here, I make this kind of in line with this thing. Go parallel to that. Parallel, thank you. What this is going to do a little bit is if the ball hits the side here, it's going to prevent it from flying up. Oh, I'll fix that. And this plastic is going to come up this way more. So we should probably have a mount point on this thing. Can it? Because of where that's positioned on the ramp. I need to pull up pictures. Let's take a peek. Yes, it can. It can just kind of come around here. So it can come across. This is going to be a stud, so this can come across here to this mount point and come up. Okay. So this needs to be 0.25, no, 0.5 diameter. Yep. And then this can be tangent to this on this. tangent to this. Yeah, so this isn't fully accurate. But I will, just for sanity's sake, pull it in a little bit. That's where that plastic would go. That goes up that way. Okay, maybe this is wrong here. Might need to be an, yeah, this is wrong here. This actually needs to be a tangent arc, but slightly differently. Oh, it's a tangent arc from here. Whoops. It's tangent arc from here, here. But this is more like this. See how this doesn't quite line up with that arc that's there? So I can't use this post per se in this particular case. See what that's doing. That's because I have this fixed. If I unfix this, if I fix this, this might do what I want. Yeah, this is gonna do what I want a little bit more. Maybe. No, it's not. Alright, forget it. Just keep that fixed. And I'll work with this. This should probably be fine. Well, some of this is because this is equal. Maybe if I unequal that. Yeah, that makes it work a little bit better. Okay. Now this thing, I guess, shouldn't be vertical. It should come face this way a little bit more. Which is probably fine. Alright, this actually isn't going to be part of that. This should stay fixed that way. And then it needs to come across this way. Basically what this is kind of doing. Not necessarily that steep. Go up more like this. Now, on this section here, I need that adjustment post accessible, but if I use the bottom mounting adjustment post, then I don't have to worry about that here. So that's what I'm going to do there. It's going to be the bottom mounting adjustment post. Five, one. Plastic comes straight up. And that's where, right here is where the curvature is. So now the plastic needs to come in here. Not like that. Nope. A little further over. And this is not part of that. But it is vertical. And see, how long is that? 4.75. Works well. And then this is probably half an inch. How about 7/16 of an inch? 7/16 of an inch work. Okay. And this comes up here. Just keeps going up a bit. And this can come across. I accidentally double click that. No. This can come across. And this will meet up with that. Now, one thing that is different, this is curving in. Eventually the plastic will be underneath this, so I don't think I'm going to have to worry about that too much. Obviously, there's going to need to be a another, I'm going to have to cut the plastic out and see how it fits, and then make adjustments. But as of right now, I'm going to assume it's fine. Now, this plastic is getting quite large. Technically, this plastic can go all the way here, but I think I'm going to break this into two plastics. Because I really don't want this plastic to continue along here, and then it'll be really awkward to have this weird shape. What's going on up here? There. Needs to be 25. This ramp curves in a little bit. Yeah, so it's gonna kind of come up and around, come up and in. But there's definitely needs to be a little bit of a curvature here. So in reality, this kind of comes down like here. And then so let's trim this. Get rid of this. How does this go? Was well, that goes up and around. Why am I? Like it goes in up and around like this. Oh, that's why I'm not. Because this needs to move over a little bit, like that, and then it'll have the more of the shape that I'm thinking about. Or like that. I didn't need to exit the sketch. Come on, ow. Now in here somewhere is going to be the mounting post for this ramp also. So I'll have a post down here, and then this ramp will mount on top of this plastic, which will also double as like another layer of mount. So it'll be a somewhat complex plastic. All right, let's see if I can extrude this. I can. That's kind of matching in there a little bit. Now this is obviously a little lower because I don't have washers in here. So this will raise up with the washers. I'm not concerned about that. This one obviously can't be a post. This one can be a post. And this will have edge mount points. That's the post hole. Come on. This is 1/2 inch. That's where that post goes. All right, so now, and you can see this ramp here is like right flush on here. So a lot of the designs that I've been doing ahead of time are fine. Let's get rid of this ramp. Another thing you'll notice, there is a little bit of a gap right here. See this gap? So, as I said, I'm going to put a piece of metal here. So, I'll make a piece of sheet metal, just flat sheet metal that goes right on this spot, because this is also where the top section drops down in. That way it'll slam down on a piece of sheet metal rather than plastic. Yeah, so this upper ramp, this ramp, will then slam onto a piece of sheet metal right here, which will protect it. And that piece of sheet metal can just be, riveted right onto this plastic without any issues. It's supposed to be perpendicular to this. Come on, let me select it. Okay. And what this also all means is this ramp actually can lower down an eighth of an inch, because it was raised an eighth of an inch to allow for the material on the other ramp. So if I lower it down, it'll then properly kiss onto these posts. So how about I lower this down? Wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. Stop it. This ramp, load it, and it needs to be offset. Not 9/16, 7/16, and that brings it right onto that. Fix it again. And that should leave about 1/16 of an inch here for it to just kind of ride on, which is great. And then this also mates up with this really nicely. Oh, that also means this whole thing is wrong. This piece, this extrusion needs to go down an eighth. So instead of 3/4, it's 5/8. Now that will be on this correctly. Yeah. And I can adjust this flange a little bit too to match up with this. I'll do that shortly. Something else I can actually optimize now too. Actually, that would need to go up a 16th of an inch because of plat. Anyways, I'll whatever. Something else I can optimize is I don't need these posts technically, because this ramp will have a mount point here, a mount point here, and a mount point right over here. And those are the only 3 points that it really needs. Well, I guess it should use a 4th point. Oh, maybe I'd move this. Maybe I'll move one of these over here more for the ramp. Like right underneath this point. Like I could move this one right under there, then I could add a flange here. Then it'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mount points. That'll really keep it in place well. I think that's one too many mount points, but because of the shape, I probably need that. You know, I actually don't think I need the one over here. So if I just make these work, then that'll probably be fine. 1, 2, 3, 4. So those 4 points. Because I don't think it needs to be mounted on this left section. Because it's going to be right... like, once it has these other 4 points, it's not going to go anywhere. So it's going to be right where it needs to be. Maybe. I don't know, I'll ruminate on it. It's not important right now. What is important, though, is I should draw out the guides on this plastic. Because I'm going to turn this plastic into an assembly, like a sub-assembly. Since there's going to be the plastic, the left guide, the right guide, a whole bunch of different posts, and the metal flange. So there's a bunch of pieces on that all need to kind of go together. And what I also need to do is cut out these 2 holes at least, or these 3 holes at least, because then that will help me mount this thing. Now, another thing to remember: this is clear. You're going to be able to see through it, with the exception of the art that I have on here. That way, you'll see where the ball is at all times at this point. Kind of think of like like I said, Transformers and Avengers or First Avengers. It has similar ramps like this. I'm never gonna be able to select it again. It's very difficult to modify when it's translucent, so I'm going to make it not translucent for now. Okay, let's cut these few holes. I can do that in this cut extrude. I can worry about cleaning things up later on. But all these holes are, firstly, I'm not going to have them associated with the posts. I'm going to have them just fixed. Because eventually this is going to be its own autonomous element, not part of anything. In the event I need to make more substantial tweaks later on, I don't want this kind of getting all fucked up. And all these holes are going to be like size for a 1/16 of an inch. And these are... Really? You're not going to let me... Okay, it did equal. And then these are going to be 3/16. Yeah, 3/16. I'm also going to add a couple slots on the left side here for mounting on the side. These are also going to be 3/16. And they are going to be vertical from each other. That's going to be like there-ish. That'll be like there-ish. And from the edge, it'll be 3/16 is from the edge is fine. 3/8. I want the vertex, damn it. Here to here. I mean, I don't need to stop that. I don't need to make a length, but I mean, I may as well. Unless they're equal. All right. So there's slots. There's the holes. Like, yay. You know, if I do put a post right here, then this will have a spot to mount, because right now it doesn't really have a good spot to mount. And it will add some rigidity, unless I want to make a side cut in. If I don't make... Alright, I might not make this, the side, these left sides like this. I might pull them in. Because then this whole thing can come across and mount on this side and over here. And that'll add a really good amount of rigidity that I think I need. Okay, so let's get into this. Let's get into this. This is no longer 4 3/4. This is going to come way the hell up here. Nine 9.5. No, 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 no. Okay. Okay, yeah, we'll do that. We'll do something like this. And then the piece of metal will go underneath here. And I have a mount point here, which also will be the mount point of this. Whatever. Actually, that's way down here. More down over here. Alright, on Sunday I'm going to make a measurement to figure out where that is, because I don't know where it is right now. Because that's kind of important to know. But I'll make this assumption for now. Now, obviously that's not going to work. So... And that's way back there, so this can be moved. And pull that forward a little bit. Sorry, I'm just screwing around with this a little bit. $14 is pretty good. Um... No. No, I guess not. $13.5 will do. That'll be flat enough. And I can always extend this, because that needs to be square, so I'll do that. And that'll give me more mounting points on this, if I so choose to mount it. Needs to be on here. While I'm here, I guess I can go adjust this. Okay, so now that's more in line with that. I guess I don't want that to be part of that because I really actually want an arc right here. Um, 5/8 is fine. And this can go on here. Hey, you need to be fixed. Don't screw with me. Obviously, that's not acceptable. Rid of that. I still, even though this lower section is cut off, I still need to make it legit. Otherwise, there's build problems. I want this out a little bit more. And then, of course, this fillet also needs to go over here. Move that out. Okay, so that pulls all that kind of over a little bit. Now, I didn't address this problem, technically, but this post can actually move in a little bit. That'll probably address that fine. Though, what I can also do, because why not, is I go from here up over there. Yeah, there are cleaner ways to do this, but oh well. What fillet is that I want? This one. And I can use the same fillet over here too. Not on there. I have the wrong piece. Did I know? Okay, so that fillet can kind of go along there. That adds that extra bit of value that I need. What this also does too, really, I don't think I want that fillet to be there. Hang on a second. Let me pull this up. Thank you. I don't want this fillet on this one. I want a larger fillet there. Because it looks nicer. Okay. So now there's that whole section. Eh, let's get rid of this one too. What? Get no. All right, I'll zoom in. Christ, no. Zoom in. I'm gonna use the larger fillet on both those sections. It'll just look nicer. Yeah, I'm more satisfied with that. So that adds a little bit more rigidity also, because I don't want this section over here to flex or anything really. I want it to be pretty rigid. Only this section down here is what's bending down. Okay, I'm going to start drawing or getting the sketches ready for the assembly here. I'm not going to make this assembly today. It's probably going to take a couple more hours to do that whole assembly. But I am going to sketch it out. One thing I can do, though, is I no longer need this post. Technically. I may still have that post there to have a spotlight shining towards the pumpkin. But I can always add spotlights, like, hidden over here at the pumpkin, which would actually be a better spot, because you can't really see over here, especially with some sceneries that I put up and around eventually. Okay, let's edit this. Yeah, I do also make the sounds and music. Yeah, I'd make the sounds and music. I actually started making music for this game too. I don't think I can stream making music because of how the delay works and whatnot. Over here, I do have my keyboard. It's an 88 key M audio. See if I can. Yeah, you can see I have my keyboard here. Um, and yeah, I do have a subwoofer in it. I mean, it's a standard EM or not EM, pinball style subwoofer. But yeah, so I mean, I have a sub. I like the sub. it does sound good, but I use the keyboard. I don't know if, like I said, I can do the music on the stream because of the latency. I have to turn off ASO for all or whatever it is that Fruity Loops uses. Uh, no, I don't want that sketch there. I want to edit the component and then sketch on this. That way, when I go to create the actual assemblies, it'll be good. That goes there and across. And here and down. Um, so that should kind of kiss along there. And then on this other side, I'm just roughing it out right now. This I want to be exactly like 1 1/8 wide. Like really like perfectly exact where I want it to be. And you can see that this post is maybe gonna get in the way there. When you say the ramps are forgiving, what do you mean? Oh, on those other games? Yeah, well, the the way I see it, if a standard person who doesn't know how to play pinball very well can't shoot the ramps because they're really tight, and like, what fun is that? And I get it that like seasoned players will just be able to ramp all day, but that's why I try to add some rules in there to make them do other things or switch things up a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I find it fun shooting the ramps around and being able to combo things and everything. So that's what I aim for as much as I can, which is why like this ramp over here on this right side, it's gigantic in relation to this flipper, but it's also hidden. If you look at this playfield, like where's a good image of this? Yeah, like when you look down on this playfield, the entrance to this ramp is hidden. So as long as that ramp is wide enough, it doesn't matter where you shoot, you're gonna get it. And there, I do need to make some adjustments here to make it a little bit easier, which I'll get you shortly. That's not too bad, or in another stream, I mean. And I do want to record myself playing a little bit more with where the ball gets shot in relation to the flipper. But yeah, because you can't see the ramp, I made this ramp large. That way, you don't have to worry about it too much. Meanwhile, these ramps are right in your face, so it's not that big of a deal. And this ramp back here, technically, you have this gigantic left side to shoot into, right? And the first couple times you try to shoot for it, you're gonna hit the post, or you're gonna hit the flipper. But once you find it, you can whip around the thing over and over and over again. If you look at the stream that I did on Sunday, we were all finding it and we were all shooting the thing like crazy, and it was just flying like a bat out of hell around this thing. Um, yeah, like this isn't very wide back here, but it doesn't need to be because the ball is perfectly looped around to spin up. Because this entrance is gigantic. If I go to a flipper view, yeah, like you can see how big this is from the right flipper. You can see how big this ramp entrance is over here, and how big this ramp entrance is. Likewise, this ramp entrance is quite large for both flippers. The left orbit's a little tight, which is why I made some adjustments last stream. But yeah, um, I want people to be able to shoot the ramps. What good is it if you can't shoot the ramps? So with this 1 1/8, technically this can kind of go on this other side, kind of. Well, let's make these parallel. Not really, I guess, because this is going to kind of get in the way here. It does have to go on this side a bit, which does have this post in the way. I can always move this post around a little bit. Let's loop this around. Oh, not like that. With this. This needs to be tangent also. And I want this to be 1 1/8. Okay, I guess this can't be parallel anymore. Oh, not 1 1/8. Whoa, 1 1/8 is 9/8, so 9/16. 9/16. That's better. Oops. Be middle right there. And be fixed right here. So that's the path the ball is going to come through. Make this parallel. And this is obviously parallel. This needs to be 1.5. Will work well. Up there. Kind of like that. So the ball, I always assume is 1 1/8. So let's make a bunch of balls that are 1 1/8. Actually, I need to make a couple that are 1 1/16. Equal for construction. These are 1 1/16. These need to be tangent one another. One 1/16. It's basically where those balls kind of sit when they are on this post. So it'll sit like right in there. Is there any way I can move that post over more? I can kind of move it over a little bit more. I think I really kind of want to move it over a little bit more. Yeah, I think I kind of really want to move it over a little bit more. Alright, let's take this. Nope. And go to device holes. Unfix this. Fix that. Pull this over a little bit more. Because I have the space kind of over here for this device. And I really would like it a little further away from this anyways. Pull this here. Yeah. Okay, so now with that there, I can then take this sketch and I can shift the sketch over a little bit. Over there. So the balls can still roll through here fine. That opens that area up a little bit more. What does that do down here? So down here, I now think I do need... Let's fix this. Because this is going to kind of come... Oh no, these can be parallel. Can be parallel now. As if this comes across here, that's going to interfere with this now. So I want to get rid of this. Yeah, get rid of that. And I'm going to make another set of lines. That are parallel. This way I can have a little more of a curve kind of going so it can go around some posts. And this is 1 1/8. Not 1 1/8. 9/16. Come on. Math right, me. Now this is going to be more in line with this thing. So how would I add this and make this parallel? So now that'll go right into that slot. Come on. I also want this to be kind of parallel to this. And how about we change this cut? Instead of it being like that, make it 1 inch. Or 1 and 1/8. Yeah, that might work okay. Yeah, now that'll guide the ball more in that way. That comes in here. Obviously, actually. Come on. All right, stop that. Come on. Okay. All right, I'm gonna mute the music because I don't know when, or I don't know what the situation's gonna be now. And I'm probably going to end the stream soon because it's been a couple hours. I don't want to be up all night with this. I've kind of got a lot of these designs done. Yeah, these circles all become equal and can be, well, they all need to be for construction and 1 1/8. Make sure things fit fine. Obviously, that's going to be fine. That'll be fine. Again, just for measurements. Yeah, all right, something like that. Yeah, okay, so the ball will glide down like that. And as I said, this plastic here is going to be translucent, so you'll be able to see through all of this, which will make life nice for the player, knowing where to shoot. Unlike when it was a big black plastic ramp. One difference is also, as I mentioned, back here is going to have a piece of metal. It's probably going to be um, about 2 inches long, but that's still way back there, right? That's still way back there, so that's not going to really block you. And this piece of metal is going to be riveted on a little bit to protect the slam. Maybe it doesn't even need to be riveted on. I mean, I could move this down. Well, yeah. I mean, if the metal is bound here and bound over here through the same. Yeah, but that makes it difficult when assembling it. So there'll be a couple rivets on it. One over on this side, and one over on this side, or one up here and one down here, maybe to keep it just in place, and then a couple holes for everything else to kind of help bind it in. That's at least what I'm thinking. And this side is going to have a similar type of plastic on it. In this section, it's going to be a similar type of plastic. But I think that's pretty good. This has a bit of a proof of concept today of what's going on. And on Saturday I'll be back. Um, yeah, on Saturday I'll be back, and I will finish up this plastic assembly. It's probably going to take a couple hours. I might start plastic assembly on this side, and again, this ramp will extend out a little bit to drop onto the plastic because it's basically the same height as the plastic. Just like over here, this ramp will come down a little bit. When you look in the image, yeah, see these ramps they won't clash. There's plenty of height between these because of how this is coming down and this is going across. So there's plenty of height for this ramp to come down, you know, probably a quarter of an inch. It doesn't need to come down that much, but it can. And that'll help alleviate uh the need for the two pieces here. Just like I don't need the two pieces over here now. Uh so yeah, I think that's it for the stream. I hope y'all kind of found this useful, just like everything. This will be up on my YouTube channel, Lynn's Custom Pins, just like everything else in a few days. So until then, I'll see you, I suppose. Bye.